YouTubers out there. I'm your goddess Nesca here with Truckermon. We're reacting to...
Top 10 unfair bosses recommended to us by Century Nerd. I keep saying Country Nerd, I don't know why.
Because you think of a country.
Beginning of this year, I ranked the most annoying bosses in gaming, which were aggravating, but you
Everything
could
in
conceivably
Cuphead.
beat.
Oh! I love Okami.
Okami?
Okami is a really fun game. I love this game.
We don't have that game, do we?
I don't have it anymore,
Oh.
I think. I used to have it for the Switch, too. I'm sad.
The first time. Now it's for the opposite end of the spectrum, while maintaining all the frustration.
Persona 4.
These are the bosses that steal entire afternoons
Mario.
away from you. The kind that, try as you might, you just can't
Pokemon.
seem to win. And more often than not, it's because the game has some sort of cheap attack that it
Pac-Man.
constantly spams. Even if these fights have
yeah.
a proper solution, it's extremely unintuitive, and you
Can you think of a boss battle that was like this for you? For me, it was Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1.
I'm trying to think. I know there's one I'm trying to think of.
Because he has this one attack that he uses where he zaps all your health and I think even your, I think also your magic if I'm not
How about
wrong.
your subconscious and Afro Samurai?
Oh, God. No. That was different. That was just dumb.
gotta go way out of your way to figure it out. Also, given how fighting games are overflowing with cheap bosses, I feel like I should save those for another time. Oh yeah, there will be optional bosses here. Being avoidable doesn't excuse them from being atrociously designed, especially when they stick out so much compared to every other boss.
Apparently this happened, it's expected, no tax on tips, to cover streams and other online creators. Really?
I know Kier should be talking about that.
That's my president. Go Trump.
In their respective games. Golden rule of this list: when you finally win against them, it feels less like you earned your victory and more like the game randomly decided you had enough.
Get ready. This is gonna be a good one. Oh, Cactus. Axel. Ooh. Oh yeah, Whitney's milk tank. Top 10 unfair bosses. Number 10.
Raid bosses are a tricky thing to call BS. Most of the time, they're intentionally designed to be massive
Pokemon Sword and
damage
Shield.
sponges that can
What'd
easily
you do to
nuke you
it?
if you're not.
There.
I can't pause. Yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield, yeah, I hated these.
And they put it in the
Terra Raid bosses.
and they put it in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, well, that is the whole
It
aspect
takes
of
a
Pokemon
really
Go.
big mistake to make one of these guys test your patience more than they should. Or you have really dumb teammates. Get out of the fire, you fucking moron! Borderlands 2, like a lot of multiplayer games,
Okay, is this number 10, Borderlands 2?
If I think I know what he's talking about, then yeah, it is annoying. It's not a main boss. You can avoid it.
It's a
but
side boss, but still. I mean, you can avoid
has one of
Sephiroth
these
too, but you
bosses.
still
While
want to
most
do
of this
it.
game's invincible raid bosses are extremely difficult to take down conventionally, enough pointing and shooting is gonna kill most things with this game's guns, with one ever so glaring exception. Master Geek, come on down! You're the next contestant on today's episode of Why Did They
never
Design
done
the
this
Boss
one.
This Way?
Oh?
Hiding out at the Oasis turned Sand Pirate Base.
Does someone need to go play Borderlands 2 now after the stream?
maybe not.
Valley, Master Geek serves as one of two super bosses added in Borderlands 2's first DLC, and where
is that why it's
Hyperius
a
is
DLC?
actually pretty decently designed, Master Geek is about the biggest miss this game has to offer. So for any other any other enemy in this game, the solution is pretty simple. You shoot the enemy, and their health goes down. Do it enough times, and congrats, you've committed murder. He, however, decided taking damage from gunfire. Not for me. I'm too good to be damaged conventionally. Shoot him, throw grenades, do anything, and his health isn't moving an inch.
Oh. Does that sound annoying?
Yeah.
Actually, that's kind of similar to how Sephiroth is in Kingdom Hearts. For a while, his health doesn't move.
So how do you damage Master Yi if doing what you do in literally any other scenario doesn't work? Well, you see those pet sandworms of his that pop out of the ground periodically? Well, when you kill them, they leave behind these toxic puddles that sap away your health. But if you somehow get the idea to lead Yi over these puddles, then he finally decides to take damage. I think the
So he can only take damage from something that he kind of creates.
Yeah.
And there's no real, like, unlike, for example, like Legend of Zelda, when, like, Ganon or someone, they, shoots, like, a beam or ball at you, you, like, hit it back at them. So unlike that, you have to somehow maneuver them into it. Wow.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Thank you, MS Sergeant Razor, for the $2.
Like it for $2. It wasn't enough to make me moan, though. Right?
Yeah.
problem here is
Right.
pretty self-evident. Why is this
Weird.
how you damage him? In what world does this make sense to do when nowhere in the game prior or after is this the solution to killing a boss? What's worse is if you don't lead Yi over the puddle in time, it'll stay there permanently. And if you leave enough puddles around, basically the entire floor is going to start sapping your health. Let alone the RPG shots
the
that
floor's
Yi
lava.
shoots. Killing Yi this way takes forever, and it's the only way to beat him unless you want to glitch the fight and kill him with the door. But even then, his drops aren't even any
Sheesh.
good compared to Hyperius, who is miles easier, more conventional, and more sensible with his boss fight and has actual drops worth your time. There's
Did you do that boss battle?
Maybe I did.
Yeah, I
It's been a
remember.
It's been a long time since I played 2.
absolutely no reason you should try and farm Yi. Master Yi the Invincible is an absolute wreck of a boss
Master
fight, but
Yi.
being a raid boss, at least you don't have to fight him unless you really, really want to, which realistically
Game completion?
you don't. You can just ignore the guy and let him sit alone with his sandworms forever and you won't miss anything. Can't say the same about everything else on this list, unfortunately.
Ooh, what could be worse?
So,
Number 9.
Kingdom Hearts, anyone? Let me guess. Are we talking about Wargoyle or young Xehanort from Dream Drop Distance? Actually, no. But we are still doing Dream Drop Distance.
Oh.
Gosh, I have complicated feelings on this game. There's one boss towards the end of Riku's story that you probably forgot about. Mostly because it was so traumatic that you subconsciously blocked it from memory. The
remember
anti-black
this?
coat nightmare confronts you when you finally meet up with Sora, and despite being a surprise boss, he has some nasty tricks. He spends most of the
Yes.
fight running away into the dark background, sending ranged attacks at Riku. Some
I
of these
love
attacks
Dream Drop
can grab him and
Distance.
do
That's
a lot
one of
of
my
damage,
favorites.
but they are too hard to dodge, especially if you have Riku's upgraded one. But considering most of the field is covered by a thick layer of darkness, it's hard to
feel
see
like
the
I
attacks
remember
even
this,
coming.
but at the same
one
time I
attack you have to
don't.
be careful of is his
It's so
Shadow Steel,
weird.
because if it hits you, well,
Suck him dry!
Oh yeah, that is kind of
yeah.
that's kind of
it
hitting
will
me. I
drain
feel
your health, and in the worst situation, can almost fully heal this actual nightmare. Plus, its range
Oh, he
is
steals your
insane.
health,
It's somehow
too.
even harder to dodge than his other attacks, despite being way worse. One of my raiders beat Triple D on critical twice without Balloon, and this was the boss that gave him the most trouble. Oh, did I forget to mention that this is the first fight in a 3-boss gauntlet? Because right after you have
Oh.
2 fights against Ansem, while not as hard, make you refight the whole thing if you lose. It made another writer overgrind
We're going
Riku to
back to you
cheese
now?
these fights because he'd rather do
Yeah.
that than suffer through these on critical. At least with Wargoyle as
Did I
Sora,
ever
you can
finish
spam
this?
the
I
super
feel like
broken
I should
links,
have.
and Balloon just carries you either way. Doesn't make this fight less annoying or BS. Hey, get it? That's the list.
I think maybe how I beat this one is I grinded really good, I want to say. Because I'm pretty good at grinding. I love grinding. But yeah, this is kind of, hitting me. I still think the Sephiroth one's harder because you gotta get to level 99, I swear, for the Sephiroth one. Because he just has like almost infinite HP that doesn't move for a while. It's like literally the longest bar of HP ever. And then he has an attack like his, even though his doesn't take your energy and give it to Sephiroth. It just makes you go down to 1. And then you need to heal like quick before he hits you again or you're just dead.
PTSD from that.
Yeah. That's where Game Shark comes in.
As we approach the modern age of gaming, we see a handful of successful indie games that hit so many positive check marks. It really feels like a lot of the biggest
Hey,
indie
Shovel
devs
Knight.
around care a lot about delivering an experience
That was fun.
culminates.
When are they going to make another little indie universe anime?
When's the last time we checked that?
How do we check that? What was that even called?
Indieverse?
Indieverse?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all the things we love when playing a game. But then Team Cherry steps in and says, nah, fuck it. Let's shove a janky boss into our otherwise solid game and ruin whatever good experience people had with
Janky
it.
boss?
After all, nothing screams
Oh.
personality more
This
than a
one,
gamer
Hollow
screams
Knight.
of seething, impotent rage. Zote is
Uh-oh.
a wandering traveler on a path seeking fame and glory. He starts off as a charming, bumbling idiot who's a mouthful, but otherwise harmless. That is, until you rescue him more than enough times and find out he's been making up lies to steal your biggest fan from you. Speaking of who,
What?
Greta grows so fascinated by Zote's stories that she begins writing it all down to the point where you can traverse her dream and face Grey Prince Zote, a fantasized version of Zote who is much stronger than
Oh.
Zote himself,
That's
unsurprisingly.
interesting.
When you first fight him, he's not that bad. He moves relatively slowly, doesn't have that many attacks. But the more you come back to fight him, his attacks get progressively faster, hit harder, and become more varied. Now, sure, this boss could get pretty absurd, but you don't.
So this is one of those bosses that you do more than once then, yeah?
Yeah.
And then it gets even harder and harder as you fight him. Interesting,
Need
interesting.
to fight him, so it's not a big deal, right? Yeah, about that. To complete
do
the
need to fight
Godmaster
him.
content, you have to go through all 4 of his main pantheons. Each of them features all the bosses you fought up to this point. And in the 3rd pantheon, you face Grey Prince Zote as the 7th opponent. He is
Uh-oh.
scaled up to be as difficult as his level 3 to level 4 fight. It sucks! Zote moves
Yeesh.
stupidly fast, erratically changing the trajectory of his jumps, and even teleporting on top of you. Even when you stagger
that's
him, he doesn't
fun.
stay down long enough for you to breathe or heal. Oh, and staying out of range won't help you either, because this egomaniac can spawn Zotelings to
Oh,
chase you
you
down
need
or
babies.
explode at you. Not to mention,
Exploding babies.
every single time he drops it to the ground, he keeps spawning freaking shockwaves. If this is your first time doing Godmaster, you're gonna get stuck here for a while. This guy's not only harder than the actual
gonna
final
drag on
boss
for
of
a
the 3rd
while.
pantheon, but arguably even more so than
Ooh.
base.
That looks cool. I like the final boss. I like the design for a Hollow Knight.
No, nothing about it. Jack and Mark ever played it back in the day?
I am not sure. I feel like they would have. I don't think we ever watched Jack or Mark play this game.
Huh.
Radiance and Pure Vessel. I'm not even kidding. At least those 2 can be staggered long enough for you
These
to take
things
a
look so
breather.
cool.
This guy, rules don't apply
That
to
looks so
him.
dumb.
He's literally a bad fanfiction brought to life.
and it has the sexy. He's posing like one of the sexy French models.
Sexy French models.
Sexy French models.
Know what you're thinking? Well, hey, just don't rescue him.
Squishy.
You won't have to fight him then. Okay, does anyone know about that first time playing? And even if you do, would you tell someone else playing that they can't do that? Of course not. If Team Cherry's gonna be a bunch of sadists, then so are the fans. Not to mention, once you get
Okay.
this late in the game,
Okay, so the best way to beat this boss is never help him in the first place. See, innocent getting attacked? Who
No
cares?
good.
Be evil! Be evil, that's the way you defeat him.
No good
it's already
deed
too
goes
late to back
unpunished.
away unless you
Yeah.
replay the whole game again just to get back here. I saved this arrogant asshole 3 times. And this is the thanks I get?
Don't save him ever.
Now, yes, if you don't save Zote, you do get to skip fighting him altogether in Godmaster. Doesn't even
Cool.
matter to the completion rate. At least the game has the
Awesome.
mercy to not cheat you out of that knowledge. And as a compensation bonus, you can find the heavily obscured Eternal Ordeal challenge and embrace the leisure of mowing down as many zotes as possible. Assuming you could put up with all this grunting. I get
Lots of
trying to
boogies.
make us hate a character and all, but this is reaching South Park levels of spite. Makes me wonder if Zote is actually based on someone the people at Team Cherry really, really friggin' hated.
Number 7.
I'm kind of bummed that Frontiers came out months after Sonic, but because it's honestly earned a spot in my
Sonic.
top 10 all-time favorite games. The writing was great, the gameplay was solid.
I'm kind of interested in, like, ever since we watched, I think it was the Eggman versus Bowser death battle.
Yeah.
And I learned about that one, female robot character. I'm actually kind of interested in this.
Slaughter them all for the blood for the blood god.
Yeah, blood for the blood
It
gods.
looked amazing, and it treated the universe with so much care and respect. I think my only real issue is the combat is a little shallow compared to other beat 'em ups. Of course, that's just a
Lovely.
small critique compared to one battle that'll make you rip your hair out. Wyvern is an enormous dragon rope.
Eternatus? Wait, no, that's literally the Pokemon Eternatus.
Bot,
was
and
like
one of the
Bahamut.
titans of the Starfall Island.
No, seriously,
It's
if you
created
know
by the ancients and
Pokemon
woken up to
X
kill
and
Sonic
Sword and
because-
Shield.
could not understand.
But what I do understand is he's got your last Chaos Emerald, so you gotta snuff the tragic
Nope,
dragon.
that's Eternatus.
This fight is actually my favorite boss fight in the game. You chase
looks
the
like an
slinky
Eternatus.
Titan on a floating laser carpet, then grab the Chaos
Laser
Emerald,
carpet.
go supersonic, and start flying all around the island,
Shan-
dodging
Sup-
missiles,
Sonic
lasers,
2?
and slashes. You can parry them back at him to leave him vulnerable to
Make
damage.
a Sonic
It's so
timeline.
adrenaline pumping and fun.
GT.
And they ruined it! In the final
Really?
Horizon DLC of Master King Coco's Trial, you get a rematch with Wyvern, and he's much less forgiving this second time around.
Even more
you
Eternatus.
absolutely have to parry Wyvern's attacks, or you'll be stuck in an endless loop where
Game
it
theory.
doesn't take
Yeah.
any damage, and you basically have to burn through your ring supply
Oh,
until
game
game
theory.
over. The problem, you have to be stupidly precise with your parrying, or it won't work. And every
Probably.
time you miss and a missile hits you, it launches
haven't
you
watched
back,
Game Theory
causing
in
a
a
short
while.
cutscene and wasting time. Time you absolutely do not have. It wouldn't be so bad if you
Ew,
didn't
I
have
hate
such a
timed
limited amount of
game.
rings. Not just for this brawl, but for the whole freaking trial. Once again, I love Frontiers to death, but having a
Of
boss
course.
fight.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a Sonic game, so they're gonna implement time stuff. I hate time stuff, especially in a boss battle. Oh, another annoying time thing. Kingdom Hearts, Dimex. Dimex. Dance, water, dance!
But that looks like I can't talk.
But that's the fun. No, it's not fun for me. It's annoying.
Punishing
too.
you for not having the most pinpoint accuracy in redirecting an attack feels a little underhanded. You want to know how bad it is? Wyvern is the
Fishy.
one rematch in the DLC that forced me to switch from hard to easy just to beat it. And if you have to do that yourself, don't feel any shame in it. Because otherwise, you can say goodbye to all the blood vessels you burst trying to properly wipe out a flying metal danger noodle.
Sheesh. Number 6.
Remember in my last countdown when I made a jab at FNAF
Hey.
Security Breach for having bugs and glitches? Well, now we
Eh.
get to talk about one of the most broken parts of the game, the final boss of the true ending, William Afton. The first thing to
Ooh.
note about Afton is that, well, you barely fight him. Instead, he'll wander through 3 different rooms and attempt to reprogram Freddy against you. His boss fight takes us back to the classic FNAF, as we
Oh,
have to find
cool.
which room he's in on the monitors and hit the green button next to the corresponding one to burn him up. Again, because that totally worked last time, right?
Huh.
Can't kill it with fire.
The connection.
I really wish I could. That makes me sad.
Is it just me, or is the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline confusing?
It's getting Kingdom Hearts level confusing at this point.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, isn't there supposed to be another Five Nights at Freddy's movie coming out?
Yeah.
They're actually going to make it scarier this time? Because that last one was a stinker.
I think it's based off the second game.
Cool, cool.
Now, this
Purple
may
guy?
sound
Yep,
easy,
purple guy.
but Afton
always come
is
back.
a bloody
I always
coward,
come
and throughout the fight, he throws every animatronic in the game at you. In the first phase of the fight, you have to deal with the rest of Freddy's band of glam rock animatronics. Chica and Monty are pretty straightforward. You have to
Cool.
listen for Freddy to warn you that they're coming, and then close the corresponding door. Except Chica will hobble down one of the corridors, making so you have to check down both of them, which is tedious and time-consuming.
Ooh.
Monty, on the other hand, will try coming in through the fence like John McClane.
Eh.
But then you get to Roxy. She
Oh, no.
is stupidly fast, and the doors
Ooh.
will not work on her. So Freddy will instead tell you to hide. Spoiler alert, this is a massive lie. Sure, you're supposed to
Oh.
hide inside Freddy, but every time you climb into him and try to face Roxy, he runs out of battery almost instantaneously. Then he has
Well,
to
that
go inside his
sucks.
charging pod, leaving you out in the open for Roxy to jump you. Yeah, don't even try to
Ooh.
cheese your way through
I
Roxy
hope
by
so.
hiding behind the bed, because regardless of how you hide, it's not guaranteed that she'll leave the room right away. Now you're stuck waiting for Glamrock Luna over here to find her way out of the office, and luck, Freddy's been corrupted by Afton.
Oh.
If you're lucky enough to get past all of that, there's still a second phase to the fight. Now the animatronic blob you
that's-
saw when you first walked down here will try to grab you with its tentacles, and
Tentacle! Why you got Tootsie Rip under the kitty? No!
I
I
was.
was wondering why people stopped playing this game.
Hmm.
Maybe this is why.
And now you have to be incredibly careful not to run
Tenties!
into them as you sneak very slowly toward the monitors. Okay, whose
Sneaky
bright idea
weaky.
was it to add
Oh.
stealth missions to FNAF? And even if this phase isn't as blatantly unfair as the first, there's still the possible chance that the game will just randomly revert back to phase 1 for no reason at all. Then you have to
Huh.
redo the most broken part of this fight because, your pain is funny. The problem with having this fight is that it would probably be doable if Security Breach wasn't so
Sheesh.
broken. But the glitches.
Okay, so game issues. Interesting. I would never play a Five Nights at Freddy's game. I'm sorry, do not ask me, because I cannot. I can barely do horror games as it is, but a horror game like this, where it's very tedious and you have to do things very precisely, and I can't fight back. No. This one right here is forcing me to play the new Silent Hill game. I'm
think-
already not gonna like that, but at the same time, I'm kind of intrigued, especially with that last trailer I saw. That one Fox Mask guy kind of made me think of Sephiroth. Anyway, try to find out the Freddy world. It's not horror. Oh yeah, that one's cute. You kind of make your own restaurant, I believe, if I remember correctly. What did you do?
Someone froze up on this. All right.
And luck-based elements make it almost as hard as 420 mode from FNAF 1. And anyone masochistic enough to attempt either knows that you need to get extremely
Snikamoo!
lucky, and you will die over and over and over and over again. Honestly,
Did Marky
compare
Moo
one
ever
player's
beat it?
reaction to beating FNAF 1's
Is Marky Moo still the king of Five Nights at Freddy's? I gotta know. I want to watch. I don't think we ever finished watching Marky Moo play this one.
I don't really remember him watching it, playing it.
Yo. Well, we hadn't watched a Marky Moo video in a long time.
Sorry, let me fix him real quick.
Fixing stuff. I can't push play until you push a thing. Space.
There we go.
420
Yeah.
mode.
Oh my
No, for
god!
those another
Oh,
one
I
would be
did it!
restaurant one is there's a 6. No, I'm not saying this one. Five Nights at Freddy's World, isn't that the one where you it's like really cutesy and you get to collect a bunch of doodles?
Oh, Iron John's here.
Hello, welcome.
With his reaction to beating Afton's fight in Security Breach.
I love Marky Moo.
Oh,
The rest won't want to. Yeah,
The proof is in the pudding.
Number 5.
So let's talk about one of Monster Hunter's black dragons.
Oh, monster.
No, not Fatalis.
Monster
We'd be scraping
Hunter?
the bottom of the barrel if we talk about him again. Wait, where are y'all going? Why else isn't out for another 3 months?
Oh,
I've
okay.
surrounded my house in a moat of grass.
There aren't many black dragons, but as we saw with the big guy, they're even more of a
They
walking
found out
calamity
before
than
they
even
make
the norm.
safe for work.
I wouldn't be shocked. Okay, so this was Monster Hunter World, I guess? Because I think he said that Monster Hunter Wilds wasn't out when he recorded this.
Yeah.
Elder Dragon. So the fact that World gave us the option to
Yep,
fight
that was
2
right.
of them was insane. Too bad the other one we got was Alatran. So
it looks
I
cool.
heard you guys like DPS checks. Time limits for those DPS checks. Elemental weakness changes that prevent you from getting them.
I kind of want Monster Hunter Worlds versus Wilds because when I was looking up mods, I saw a Sephiroth mod. Then I was like, ooh, I want it. And then I had to learn the hard way. It was not for the one that I had. It wasn't Wilds. It was Worlds.
Oh.
I was like, damn it, why you got 2 Monster Hunter games that both have W words?
Oh god, the guy who worked for Blizzard for 7 years. I thought it was 27 years.
He's the first, second generation something or other. And he sucks his titties.
Those DPS checks.
I'm
And a
surprised that
forced
barrel
loss
hasn't
if
taken down
you
yet.
miss said DPS checks.
That's never going to happen. Ever, 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 ever in a million years. Ever.
What?
Well, gee whiz, folks. Alatran will ruin your day. Yeah.
Cool.
All of those happen.
Aw.
The whole goal of Alatran is to do
He
enough
looks
elemental
cute.
damage to him to weaken his supernova to a point where you
Oh, yeah,
can
supernova.
barely survive it with a full HP bar and some jerky.
I
And
miss the
that's
old him.
to survive him. Never mind killing the dang thing.
Yeah.
Alatran switches between 3 elemental
I never
forms:
knew
fire,
him.
ice, and dragon. And you need to hit the
Hey.
weaknesses of fire and ice to hit that DPS check effectively. So if it's fire, you should have all ice weapons to hit that check ASAP. Don't worry,
Okay.
that shower thought in the back of your head does happen. If it goes to the opposite element, it becomes immune to the previous weakness, so no elemental damage for you. It switches
Uh-oh.
between the elements every 3 minutes or so, and Dragon does come between the opposite
3
forces.
minutes?
Dragon
God,
mode
how
lets
long
you
is
do
this
damage
battle?
to Alatran's Horn, which, on break, forces Alatran to go back to the previous element. That way, you can keep hitting the original weakness and not die from Eschaton Judgment.
Cool.
The aforementioned supernova. So, if he starts in fire, attack him with ice. He goes into dragon mode, you break the horn. Then he goes back to fire instead of moving to ice. Because if he goes to ice, those ice weapons will do normal damage but won't do jack for that DPS check. Repeat until dead. Simple,
We can-
right?
Wrong, wrong,
Pokemon.
wrong.
Pokemon logic.
But like the Pokemon keeps changing their elements mid-fight.
Yeah.
That would get annoying.
They kind of were trying to do that with Scarlet and Violet.
How'd that go?
Interesting, but they don't change mid-fight. But you can, actually, no, I think they do, actually. Terrestrialization? Yeah. Except you can only do it once. Yeah.
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 Wrong, 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 wrong.
Combine that with a lack of ability to
This
go
is the kind of guy that complains about the monsters being too difficult, and I not completes when the day make it easier. Yeah.
back to camp unless you
We'll be
die,
talking
or
about
hitboxes
the
to
most
run him into
annoying,
walls, and
or
having
difficult,
access to
bosses.
all elemental blights, including one that nullifies elemental damage, and you have a seriously unfair fight. Oh, and the horn only breaks twice, and in dragon mode only.
Then they
So you need to
changed
hit that
the
DPS
Nega
check
Evo works.
multiple times, since he will use that
Negative
supernova
and,
every 7
Legends
minutes.
of-
So it
Eh? Wait, what?
And Legend Arceus.
Oh, Legends Arc, of course. Legend of Zelda. I was like, wait, it's not the same game. Mega Evo's work in Legends Arceus. Did they have Mega Evolutions in Legends Arceus? My brain. Maybe? I'm talking about Scarlet and Violet's. Yeah.
There was 7 minutes.
Let it go, y'all.
It isn't the mission clock you need to worry about this time around. It's the number of times you can survive a nuke before not even tasty jerky can save you. Good luck, deer hunters, and I hope this guy doesn't come back in wilds. I miss Fatalis.
I don't know.
Yeah, fix wild.
Number 4.
Ah, yes. Mike Tyson, Iron Mike himself.
Oh.
His iconic status as an untouched
So
champion
Punch-Out?
in the boxing ring is definitely not unheard of by Nintendo. So much so that's only brilliant for them to slap his name onto Punch-Out and
What is ZA? What's Legend ZA? Oh, is it the newest one? Oh, wait, wouldn't it be? I think it's just isn't it AZ or? Huh? You're talking about the
You're
newest
right.
one out of my brain.
I like your Twitch, bitch. You're fighting a fucking ancient dragon. It's not supposed to be easy.
So true. Yeah, that's not out yet, though. I actually haven't been looking up trailers and stuff. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like I have seen, like, the new, mega form of Dragonite, and there was one of Victory Bell, which was a bag, which was, like, why?
I like the meme of Randy riding it like his balls.
make him
Victory
a
Bell balls.
hilariously unfair boss.
I-
Of course,
not
the
Iron
fat
Man.
eventually died out for reasons, and they slapped in some fictional nobody as the final boss, while still keeping the
That's not out
same
yet, right?
unfair mechanics. Either way, the BS difficulty is here to stay and has remained one of the most talked about difficult bosses to date. Tyson
Gauge
is
system, you
legendary.
can use the Mega Evolve. Fun. Not sure if that helps at all. I don't know. I've been disappointed with Pokemon so much that I'm not sure if I want to get the new Pokemon game, especially if it requires me to get a Switch 2. I think I'm waiting. Well, don't bother waiting for prices to go down, but I think I'm waiting for to get a Switch 2 if it's gonna force me for Super Smash. I mean, obviously it's gonna. And only if that Super Smash includes Sephiroth again, then I'll care. Probably. Yeah. ZA is also on the... It's really... They had kept it for the regular Switch also? Interesting.
what's
Interesting.
one
Is it
about-
already out? Am I insane? I'm gonna look that up now. Go ahead.
For his ridiculous flurry of one-hit KO punches and high stun resistance that made him a Sisyphus-level challenge to knock down. Even if you somehow manage to get him knocked out once, the nightmare isn't over. Mike eventually changes his
No,
fighting
it's not
style to a
out.
series of fast jabs telegraphed very faintly through his winks. At least, you better hope.
Okay, according to this, Legends ZA is going to come out around October. So it's going to be coming out. Set for release on Switch 2. Announced as an exclusive to the original Switch console, and port is also set for release on the Switch 2. Okay, so they are going to have it on the regular Switch first. Interesting.
Imagine my fight Mike Tyson. I don't know. That's Logan Paul.
Yeah.
What's the other Paul brother besides Logan?
Other Logan?
Yeah, that fought him and won.
Yeah, other
He does,
Logan.
since
I'm gonna call
sometimes
him
he
other
forgoes
Logan.
that entirely.
I'm not
Jake
even
Paul.
fighting
Surviving
like
that bloody
Tyson
flurry,
in person.
it's only fair that any normal player would find this boss beyond rigged. He alternates between these overpowered punches so much that it feels practically
Yeah.
RNG. But believe it or not, there is a way to tell how Mike Tyson fights and when
I like
he would
how
switch out his
little
style.
Mac
it all
is.
comes down to the timer. In round 1, Tyson will change from a series of
No,
one-shot
the
uppercuts to the wing
Mario
jabs once
reference.
the timer
The
reaches
reference
130.
is Mario.
In round 2, he remains
Mario.
invulnerable and kicks off with a series of fast jabs until the timer reaches 040, where he goes back to his usual punches. And once you get to 130 again, That's
Not
where you gotta
good,
worry about the
'cause, he
Blinking
will
Flurry.
eat
And
your
at
ear.
230, he'll either do it again or do 2 jabs and an uppercut. Once you get to round 3, all you gotta worry about is the Flurry at 130, and the rest is history. Between
yeah, little
all
Mario.
of this, you gotta hit him at the back of the head for maximum damage, know when to block his jabs, and dodge to get him vulnerable. Toughen through all of it until you tire him enough that you can finally stun him for longer than 2 punches.
I don't think I could do a game like this.
With a concrete strategy in mind, mastering the Mike Tyson fight still takes a vicious level of dedication to time each punch and dodge accordingly. It's made with every intention to be.
I mean, I can do, like, I feel like I can do, like, timing-based stuff, like, DDR, like, example with the Stellar Blades, little chests and junk. I can manage to do that. I'm not perfect at them. I don't think I really care for ones like this. I like more of strategies that are more, like with the Final Fantasy Tactics. I really like that, where you can just kind of like chess, I guess? Something interesting like that.
Yeah.
Zubba Zubba.
A BS fight tailored for the most hardcore
Or ones that I
games
could
out
just
there.
hack and slash
Nevertheless, if you had
and
the strength to push
explore.
through, you'll see that at the end of the day, the champion is still human. And that couldn't be more true, considering the actual Mike Tyson never did beat himself in the game either. Such is the case when the finger must be mightier than the fist.
Number 3.
Y'all thought
Donkey
Punch
Kong
Out could
in
be
the
too
Wii.
much? That
Ah,
game really only has
of
one
course.
super grueling part. Ninja Gaiden, on the other hand, has earned a reputation as NES's most brutal. And it shows. The villain of the game, Jakio, is more than just a typical power-hungry demon worshiper. He
Difficult
has a
for NES
repertoire of
standards.
BS to back it all up. To start with, this guy had Ryu's
Aren't all games like this, like, crazy hard?
Back in the day.
This makes me think of the Sailor Moon game we were playing.
Yeah, back then kids weren't retarded.
Jubba Zubble.
No, not this.
Oh,
his father
this.
captured and brainwashed
Just
into
like you
his
played
knight.
this
You fight him
one.
in the first phase of the final battle, and his fight is frankly
First?
not that bad if you have some projectiles to spare. Once you're through with that, Ryu's father regains
Father,
consciousness just in time
where
to
am
protect
I?
Ryu from Jakio's death blow.
Watch out!
Fueled with
Oh,
the taste for vengeance,
Ryu, you
Ryu
got
challenges the Mad
a
Sorcerer in
young
the second
day
phase of the
comes,
finale, and this fight.
Jaquaggle,
This
woggle.
freaking fight! It
Blobble,
looks simple
blobble,
at
blobble.
first. Just dodge the fireballs, climb
Kill
the walls,
the
hit the boss.
demon.
But these flames actively home in on you and will never stop until
fun.
they leave the screen. If you dodge poorly, just even once, it can completely screw you over for the entire fight. There's enough that you have
one-hit
to
kill?
wait for just the right time when you can hit Jakio without having to worry about an incoming
Jakiro.
fireball. But the icing on the cake, the real reason this fight is this high on the list is what happens if you lose. You get sent back to the beginning of stage 6. Not one route before the boss, not the beginning of the last substage, but all the way from 6-1. And
Okay, isn't that basically the same issue with most games like that? Where back in this time, when you lose, it sends you all the way back to the beginning. I don't think this is exclusive to just this game. Yeah?
Yeah.
Double double?
Double.
3 substages are not easy. You got a
Back
crap
before
ton
I'll
of
say was a
falcons,
thing.
disc throwers,
Yeah.
and bottomless pits
Wolf.
following your entire path. You go through all of that just to fight the boss again and probably
Mike
still
Tyson.
lose because you don't have enough time to learn his pattern. Oh yeah, and your
He
health
has a
doesn't
buff.
replenish at the start of the fight if you lose once, by the way. Say what you will about Mike Tyson, at least you can input a code to refight him again at any time. Between his
Cool.
freaking appearance and painful battle, Jakio really encapsulates evil to its bitter
Those
core.
games really
While the
wanted
final
to make you
battles in the
suffer,
sequels
huh?
also have their own series of
God, there's games I
BSery,
can think of
none
back
of
in
them
the day
came close to
to
how much
play.
of
It's
a
like it was a
punch in
pain.
the gut this boss turned out to be in comparison. Thankfully, after all that,
I guess back then the idea was make it unbeatable. That way someone can play it for hours and hours and they don't have to keep adding
There was a game that
story
there
to
was
it.
an indie game came out they put no save feature into at all. You had to play from start to finish. And if you die, you start all over.
Yeah, that's kind of what these did.
the third phase against the Demon Lord isn't that tough. Just mash your way to victory while sidestepping once in a while. It's almost like a reward
Mash,
for
mash.
putting up with all the crap
Smash,
beforehand.
splash. Number 2.
bosses in the Soulsborne games have carved themselves into a
Souls.
brutal yet
Dark Souls?
effective niche. Carefully dodge and
The
counter
Dark
the
Souls?
attacks of giant monsters who
Maybe.
can end
Is
you
that
in
what
a
this is?
maximum of 3 hits. It's a formula that lends itself to plenty of memorable encounters, which you've probably figured out given how many of them have been on the other boss lists. And
I've
then
never played.
there's Bed of Chaos.
Yep, Dark Souls.
Jesus, going it hard, strap in!
At first, it looks completely harmless. Just destroy the 2 orbs, then attack the core. If only it was that simple. For one,
I hear so much bad things about Dark Souls being like one of the most impossible kind of games.
Yeah, I heard they intentionally make it hard.
I could probably try just to see how hard it is. I want to know, like, is it hard because of like the fights, or is it hard because of the system? How is this game hard? I want to know.
once you take out one of the orbs, the difficulty goes from non-existent to agonizing. Its hands have insane range,
Things
do a
take a lot of
ridiculous amount of
damage.
damage, and push you
people-
around like a rag
old
doll.
people
And
have
while all
skill
that's
issues.
happening, a bunch of bottomless pits open up all around the arena. And that's just
Fun.
a warm-up
And he goes-
compared to
he
the
just slides
absolute
right in.
agony of trying to jump onto the root. For added pain, Bed of Chaos has one of the longest boss walks in the entire game.
Both, I
And one
think.
of the most annoying areas. Yes, there is a cheese strat against it, but using it is effectively mandatory if you want to win with your sanity intact. To put this into
Cheese.
perspective, one of my writer's friends beat this game in around 8 hours. Half of
Dang.
his deaths were to this boss. Oh, and a fun fact, there's an unused
Ooh.
version of this boss that appeared to be far less infuriating. Mercifully, you are granted some leeway with the Bed of Chaos. It's the only boss fight in the game that has built-in checkpoints. You can also find a hidden bonfire much closer to it to help with the backtracking. Which is more than I can say about number 1.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
so something that's worse than Dark Souls. Interesting. What game you think it's gonna be? I'm gonna guess it's gonna be something really old. Really old?
Really old.
Really old game. Dishonorable mentions. Fast.
Hi Max, Mega Man 6. Turns out you can actually damage him with the blade armor. But who would figure that out the first
Never
time?
played Mega
Silver,
Man.
Sonic 06. Did you know that all you needed to do was attack him when he jumps? There, saved y'all 18 years of agony. Jasper Bat
Never
Jr.,
played
No More
that.
Heroes 2. If there's a character Kane should disintegrate. Tower
Never
of Power
played
Pokey,
that.
Sticker Star. Either get a home run or get
Oh
freaking...
no!
What?
Ugh.
What, did you play this game?
This was the one where I couldn't I couldn't get past like the first level because it was so stupid. I hated Paper Mario Sticker Star. I hated this game. I returned it. I hated it.
You returned
No,
it.
yeah, I hated it with a passion. Not only because its gameplay was just annoying to me, but also because I hated that they took Paper Mario's fun and creativity and made it bland and boring and lame. Just made me angry playing this.
They
So
put
I
you-
returned it.
They put chicken and make it gay and lame.
Yes, exactly.
Paper Mario, no.
Damped all over. Imaginary numbers, Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass. Rely so much on RNG that the
No.
developer said, go back and one-shot it later if you don't like it. Veld, Fire Emblem 5. You have
Oh.
to deploy specific units near specific...
I need to play Fire Emblem. Ever since Super Smash Melee, I always thought the characters looked so cool and junk. I've always wanted to play it, and I just never got it.
specific targets in a game where
Any
you
of the
can't
games.
arrange units pre-battle.
But I think
Yeah,
this would be
that's
kind of the
fair.
game I'd like.
So
Fire Emblem's kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics, yeah? The way the gameplay is, I'm guessing. I
Yeah.
feel like that. So I think I would like it. Soul Mars, Tales of, don't know
Abuze,
this.
Tales of Shilia. How do you make the solo boss in a Tales game suck? Whitney, Pokemon Gen 2. Oh, everybody
Yay.
hates that
Moo.
cow. That effing
Good.
cow!
I love a meal tank.
No.
Yes.
Everybody
You
hates them.
moo.
Everybody hates them.
Suck a the moo titty. Suck a the moo titty. Number 1.
sure not to miss a single note or you will fail the full combo.
Oh, it's a
That
rhythm
is
game.
The ending of the song.
That's disappointing.
Psych, just kidding.
Imagine that as a boss fight. I've talked about how Drakengard 3 deserves more respect. While I stand by that statement, I won't act like the game
Oh.
is perfect. Specifically, the boss fights aren't great. At best, they get the job done. At worst, they're downright
Missy, what's wrong with your eye? Is she being possessed? So that's what's going on here. This looks interesting.
She's side-eyeing you.
This game looks interesting.
maddening. And oh boy, did they save the worst for last.
Ooh.
You know how good final bosses are the ultimate test
This
of
game looks
everything
interesting.
you've learned throughout the game? Well, Drakengard 3 completely throws that out the window.
Ooh,
It's a
pretty.
rhythm game, quite
Why?
possibly the hardest ever created. Throw the Fire on Flames on expert wishes it could be even a fraction of this controller shattering. While it starts off simple enough, the BS quickly gets cranked up to maximum when the game decides to take control of the camera
Oh.
away from you. And
Oh.
there's no way to manually control it here. Oh, and if you thought that was hell, it gets so much worse. Eventually, it progresses
don't
to the
need
point where
those.
you're forced to just
Yeesh.
play it completely by ear.
This reminds me of one of the latest episodes of Dan to Dan where they're fighting the music people.
Oh,
Actually.
yeah.
Yeah, you need to go back and watch that
I
episode. It was
know.
trippy.
I need to.
They literally had a moment where it was like opera Attack on Titan.
Opera Attack on Titan.
You either need to have flawless memorization skills or Terrence Fletcher approved musical timing.
Was I rushing or was I dragging? Count again.
1, 2, 3.
If that wasn't enough, the notes eventually start coming at you in sextuplets. You can't just button mash through them because of how insanely strict the timing is. Oh, and don't even think about putting the
Oh.
controller down when the screen fades to black. There are 2 more notes snuck in at the last minute just to spite you.
Wow.
It's not fair.
Editor here just to tell you 3 things can be done to minimize the frustration with this boss. Number 1, turn down the background music to prevent overstimulation from the horribly mixed audio. Number 2, use all the face and shoulder buttons to deal with those faster notes because pushing buttons in sequence is often more effective than mashing. Number 3, and this is an important one, keep the subtitles on because the text for Mikhail's second line of dialogue matches perfectly with the final note.
I had a lot of fun.
But even with these helpful tips and tricks, it's going to be a long process of trial and error. A lot of error. And to make you doubly mad, they lock upgrade materials for extra missions behind the completion of this boss. Anyway, back to the video.
The worst part about all of this,
Okay, so then it's not as bad then. You just have to make sure you put in specific duty dues to make sure that you can fight it. Interesting. The boogie?
The boogie.
What you do with
is
that?
that everything except for the actual fight is perfect. The build-up, flawless. The payoff, beautifully satisfying. The visuals, awe-inspiring. The
By the way, I was over here staring at our live stream title. Trucker Man does not know how to spell. You're the guest star?
Leave me alone.
You're supposed to be guest. I have to guess who you are. Guess who the star is. It's Trucker Man. I don't let you guess. I just say guess. You meant guest.
Hey.
With the T.
Just listen to it. Now, once again,
Oh, that's
all
pretty,
respect to the
though.
man, Yoko Taro humbled himself. While Nier Automata's final boss was also brutal, it didn't actively cheat, and you were actually given help. But for being such an absolute middle finger of a boss fight, The Flower has more than earned its place as number 1. I'm the Fiery Joker, and next time, it's mythical.
Alright.
Alright, so that was a request made by our sensory nerd. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you all for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It would make me very happy. Kiss, kiss,